Good evening, basses. Great to see you all. Welcome to our first rehearsal of Mozart's Requiem, and great to see you all. I hope you're having a good week. It's Friday. What a lovely feeling. I see we've got lots of great people here already, many basses and special guests. Everyone is welcome, of course, and I'll be saying hello to you all in a moment. Thank you very much for your comments. I'm just going to very quickly run my sound checks, but of course you're all very welcome. Just bear in mind, please, everybody, because I'm going to be making some quite loud sounds. If you're listening and you've turned the volume up, maybe just sneak it down for a moment just while I check everything is working. So we'll start with the piano, a nice big D minor chord. Okay, that's sounding good and threatening. Let's have a bit of the recording. Here's Requiem Aeternam, and this is the one voice louder part. So don't be concerned if the organ sounds a bit quiet, because when the bass comes in, you can definitely hear him. I've just realised I need to do something over here. As I say, I hope you're all having a nice day today. Still very cold in the house, still don't have any heating. But as I said to somebody on Twitter earlier on, that's all right, we have the warmth of music. I'm going to keep myself nice and warm by singing loudly and lustily. Right, so that's good. Let me just check when the bass comes in. Is it loud enough? Here we go. Fabulous. Can't beat a bit of bass. Now let's just check the second movement. Kyrie. Marvellous. And Dies Irae. Wonderful. Good. So we have our recording, we have our piano, we have a conductor, we have a choir, and in 10 minutes we'll get started. Marvellous. So let's have a bit of a chat. Say hello to John. John's going to send me some Southern Californian sunshine. Oh, I'd love that, John. Yes, please. A large helping of Southern California sunshine. I've been lucky enough to visit Southern California a couple of times, actually. Anna and I, where did we have been? To San Francisco. We've been up to, not Southern, of course, but Yosemite. We've driven through LA very quickly, and I think you're there, aren't you, John? Well, I hope the weather's nice where you are. It's not very nice here. It's quite the opposite. So, yes. Southern Californian sunshine, always gratefully received. Hello to Stephanie, great to see you. Crashing, of course. Hello to Diane and George, great to see you. Hope all's very well. Hello to Dave. Hi, good to see you, Dave. Hello to Albert. Hello to Fred. So Fred's there by Lake Ontario. Wonderful, but sunny. Fabulous. Hello to Andrew. Good to see you. Excellent job on Twitter with all the make bands bigger. I love that. Hello to John. Yes, and hello to Nathan. And there's Dave Perfect. How are you, sir? I hope you're very well. Say hello to Jill for me. Hello to Mr. Janitors. No heating. Yes, no, we've had no heating for a while. We have little heaters, so it's not like we're sitting here shivering. But we have had an interesting few weeks. And because we're in lockdown, well, it's going to be weeks yet until our heating can be fixed. It's not like it's January or anything. Bonsoir, Suzanne. Lovely to see you. Just popping into eavesdrop on the basses. The basses love having people in with them. And please do keep the comments going, because as I've said many times, you can always tell which night of the week it is by looking at the pace of the comments during rehearsal. In the soprano and alto rehearsal, it's shooting up. And by the time we get to basses, there's no movement whatsoever. And my favourite one was during one of the Elijah rehearsals. I just said, hadn't moved in 40 minutes. I said, "Are you all still there?" And I just got one comment. And it was from one of the Michaels. I'm not sure. I think it might have been Michael Cole. It just came up and said, "Concentrating." And that's all. And I thought, yeah, I can completely empathise with that. It's such a heavy responsibility on our shoulders, basses, isn't it? Having the bass line. So, no, please don't feel that you have to chat if you don't want to. But if you are here visiting from another section, please keep the comments going and have a nice time. Did everybody catch Ralph today in the ABBA launch? If you haven't signed up for ABBA, there is still time to do so. Ralph is so much fun. I've loved getting to know him over our chats and FaceTime and so on over the last few weeks. He is just such a laugh. Very, very charming chap. And yeah, you'll all have such a great time with him. I have to confess, I will be singing along. Oh, you can't beat a bit of ABBA. One of the things I firmly believe, ladies and gentlemen, in fact, I'll pass this on, a little story. Many years ago, I was overseas doing a concert, and we got to the end, and of course, it wasn't an English language speaking country primarily, But at the very end, I was trying to communicate with the conductor which song should we do at the very end, and we agreed "Thank You for the Music" was the song, because everybody knew it, everybody. And this is the thing that I realised: the world speaks ABBA, ladies and gentlemen, does it not? And so, yeah, if you've never sung any of their songs before, have a look at Ralph's course. It's going to be just such a laugh, and I think that's what we need. All right, not that there's anything wrong with singing the requiems. Goodness me, it's wonderful, wonderful music. But just like, you need a balanced diet. So maybe contrast your requiems with our wonderful ABBA course, and this is my opportunity to plug something that is very, very new and is launching very, very soon, our young self-isolation choir, which is going to be starting on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it's going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 with Ben, completely free. And this is aimed at young people from the age of 0 up to about 10 or 11. And we'll be sending all the details through, including the link that you need to click on. It may even have already come out by this point. And there we go. Website arrives on Monday, says Mark. First session on Tuesday this coming week, so keep an eye out for that. Of course, you are all very welcome to come along. And please don't expect the Mozart Requiem at 10 with Ben, because it's going to be much more twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, and so on. And fun songs like The Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round and what have you. But if you have young people in your family, particularly as mine are, if they're stuck at home, if they're not getting a chance to sing at school, if not getting a chance to sing in a choir, please tell them about it. It's completely free. It's just twice a week, half an hour fun sings. Tell them to come along and have a sing with me. All right, thanks, folks. There's my plug. Hello to John. John's still new, sang tentatively with Christmas at home. Well, that's fantastic, John. I really hope you're enjoying it, and thank you for being here. Hello to Stu. How are you? It is in the middle of the school day, Stu, absolutely, and this is why. I mean, some of the kids may not be able to attend. We put it on at 10 just because my kids have got a break around that time. I mean, it's entirely up to you how your kids access it. If they want to access it live, they can. Of course, as with all these things, it's all recorded to access later on. But yeah, starts on Tuesday. How exciting! Great stuff. So hello, David. Ben singing the bass in ABBA. Yeah, I think I might sneak a couple of parts in, but don't tell anyone. Mamma mia, here I go again. My, how can I resist? I did see, actually, what I loved earlier on in your comments, people talking about second basses needed for the Russian bass course. Absolutely. Yeah, do please. If you're a second bass, if you know any second basses, tell them to come along. Okay, because the Russian course, we need those bottom Ds, those bottom Cs, even the bottom B flat. All right, so I'm going to share my technique, which I think I shared with you over the summer. Those of you who are basses, if you want to expand your bottom notes, here's the tip, okay? It's an octave exercise, so we'll start with a G. Okay, so you start with the octave above. There's your G. And what you do is you sing down from the high note to the low note, okay, down the major scale, and you sing to the sound of bzzz. Okay, so bzzz. Now notice that's not just a s, that's the voice as well. Zzz. Okay? When you get to the lower note, you then keep the sound going and you just open your mouth and you go from zzz to ah. So it should sound like this. Bzzz, ah. Okay, let's try that. Let's do one in F sharp. And bzzz, ah. Good. Try on an F with me. Bzzz, ah. Lovely. And an E. Bzzz, ah. E flat. You still there? Bzzz, ah. And one more on a D. Why not? Here we go. Bzzz, ah. Okay. So you see, an hour ago I couldn't sing that D, but just that exercise will just relax your vocal cords and allow you to access that lower note. Now, if you practice that over the course of a series of weeks, it's a bit like sort of knocking through in a building. You're creating extra capacity, extra room in your voice. If you stop doing that exercise, the notes will shrink up again. That's all I'll say. But if you want to sing bottom B flat, you can get there. Even if you're a tenor, it might take you a bit of extra work, but we've all got the pipes. It's just a matter of opening them up. So give it a go. Anyway, hello to Neil from Switzerland. Great to see you. And hello to Stephen as well. Fantastic. Hello to Richard. A very good evening. Wow, lots of people. Hello to Joe. Hi, Joe. You've submitted your parts for Elijah. Fantastic. Well done. Thank you very much indeed. Great stuff. Hello to Dennis as well. Wow, lots of people. Excellent stuff. Hello to Morgan Fiona. I'm really glad that you like the tip. Well, you never managed to get the low B flat in Mahler. It really is a matter of you've got to do it every day. I was taught that exercise by my then conductor when I was at Bristol University. We were learning the Rachmaninoff Vespers, and you have to get that down there. And I did have a B flat for a space of about 2 weeks, but it took quite a lot of work to get down there. Oh my goodness. So, how's everybody getting on? They're getting on very well. Fabulous. Well, we're starting in just a couple of minutes. Hello to Thomas from Sweden. Good to see you. Hope all's very well. Excellent. And to Steve from Chicago. Wonderful stuff. How's the weather out there, gents? Who's got snow? Let me know. We don't have any snow here. I was promised snow. I'm quite cross with our local paper. They said we were going to be hit by the beast from the east. 15 hours of intense snow. And we got nothing of the sort. If there was any snow, it was long gone by the time we woke up this morning, and it's just been grey and drab and a little bit disappointing. So if you have snow, let us know, please. Edward, you're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hope it's helpful. Hello to Colin from Cumbria. Maurice says, I might have had a B flat for 20 seconds. Depends on what time in the morning it is. Am I right? First thing in the morning, particularly if you've had a soup on of something interesting the night before. Particularly low notes. Oh, wow. Snow here in Cheshire, says Gary. Good luck. That's fantastic. Good for you. Wonderful. And Thomas has 5 centimetres of snow in Sweden. Oh, I'm very jealous. And Peter was talking about producing a falsetto. Oh, now that's a very interesting talk. That's one for another time. The whole point with falsetto is just like with any other part of your voice, it is about using it and making sure that you're well, use it or lose it, as they say. Now, you can regain it, but you have to sing up there. Well, we'll talk about that another session. I think that's something for another day. But yes, falsetto is a very useful skill, but it, just like anything else, you need to maintain it. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Thank you for that. Simon says we had snow overnight this morning, but it's melting, just like my B flat. Love it. Brilliant. David says deep snow here, more falling in Middlesbrough. Oh, wonderful. Christian, snow in Finland. Wonderful stuff. Oh, I'm so jealous. Those of you with snow, well, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're staying well. And just know that I would love some snow. So if you can send any my way, along with the Southern Californian sunshine, not that that's in any way confusing. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. We're about to start. So thank you so much for being here. I hope that you enjoy tonight's rehearsal. We've got 3 movements of the Requiem to learn, and it's the first 3. And please do, as we carry on with our rehearsal, please do chat away in the comments. If you're new to the choir, please let us know, and you'll be surrounded by lovely, lovely people here in the comments who will make you feel right at home. If you like what we do consider clicking the like button. It's just that little thumb, doesn't cost you anything, and it just makes us feel happy, makes us feel appreciated. Similarly, if you haven't clicked the subscribe button to this channel, again, it doesn't cost you anything, and it just makes our day. So if you wouldn't mind clicking that button for us, that would be fantastic. Now I'm going to say thank you very much again for your comments and bid them adieu. I'm going to send them off to the other side of the screen. I will glance at them from time to time, but we're going to go full screen so we can start our rehearsal. So help me out, please, spaces. Let's make the noise. Thank you very much indeed. And a very warm welcome, everybody, to the first bass sectional rehearsal of our Mozart Requiem. We've had an amazing week this week with the sopranos, the altos, and the tenors diving into, that's the only way to put it, into these first 3 movements. These are the most challenging movements in the entire work. There's no doubt about that. And I left the previous 3 sections somewhat tired, but hopefully pleased at the end of each of the rehearsals. Now, just to say, we may overrun by a couple of minutes tonight because we have to get these 3 sorted, but it will be worth it because the music is so, so wonderful. So you're going to need Requiem Aeternam, Kyrie eleison, and the Dies Irae. Now, if you can, please use the PDF score that we've sent out. out, that's ideal, because I'm referring to that, obviously. If you have your own scores, please feel free to use them. I'll use rehearsal letters where possible. We'll go from letter A, letter B, letter C, and so on. If there are any discrepancies between what I'm teaching and your score, please defer to my score, just as a general rule. Thanks, everyone. So just before we start, as I've said, please do, if you want a complete contrast to our Requiem course, do consider having a look at Ralph's wonderful ABBA course, which is starting on Monday, and do tell all the young people you know about Young Self-Isolation Choir, which starts on Tuesday next week and is completely free. So plugs out the way, everybody. If I could invite you to be upstanding, so to rise to your feet, thank you very much indeed, basses, and anyone else who's here. I know we've got lots of sopranos, altos and tenors here. Everybody is very welcome. For those who aren't up for standing today for whatever reason, don't worry about it, but if you could give yourself a straight back, everyone, that would be great. And those of you sitting, if you could plant your feet on the floor as well, so you're feeling connected to the ground. And everybody, if you can just start to think about relaxing, give yourself permission to relax. It is Friday, and we've made it through the week, and we just have some lovely Mozart to sing, and then the rest of the day is our own. So if I can invite you, as I say, to start relaxing, start thinking about releasing tension from your neck, from your shoulders, and start to take a few deep breaths in and out, please, basses. Fantastic. We've got lots of lovely singers today, lots of basses. This is brilliant. So as we're taking this nice deep breath in, I'm going to invite you to breathe out anything you don't need to worry about, anything that's been stressing you out this week. If you've made the mistake, as I have, of turning on the news, pay it no mind. Breathe it out. Breathe in the lovely feeling of singing with friends. And breathe out anything that's worrying you, anything that's bothering you. Splendid. Thanks, basses. That's great. Just roll those shoulders round a few times, please. Lovely. Once you've rolled them in one direction, roll them the other way. Thank you. And once you've rolled them a few times, bring your shoulders up to your ears, please. Take a deep breath, and as you breathe out, let your shoulders fall. Very, very nice. Thank you very much indeed, everyone. Now just roll your head around very gently. Loosen these muscles up. Of course, many people have already done plenty of singing today. Many of you were involved in that wonderful Foray Requiem premiere. Some of you came to sing in Quarantine Choir. Yesterday you were singing in Mendelssohn's Elijah. It's been a very, very busy, very busy week. So what I would say tonight is, as we warm up, if you've done lots of singing this week, just be careful with your voice, particularly the Dies Irae. There's lots and lots of stuff around a D. There's even an E in the Dies Irae. So I'm just going to invite you, basses, to just be mindful of that. Don't over-sing tonight. Just look after your voices for me. All right, now let's do, just speaking of that, let's do a little bit of warming up. We'll start on a D, since we're in D minor, and I'd just like you to hum up at the minor third and down again. Humming with me, and and again. Lovely. Now, ooh, ooh, and again. Ooh, splendid. Off for orange. Oh, and again. Oh, very nice. Thank you, basses. And now can I have ah and ah, and again. Ah, lovely. And now after me, ya, ya, ya. Your turn. Great, and we'll have one more. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, basses. That's great. So that high note there was a D. And as I say, we will need an E, but not until the Dies Irae, by which time we will have warmed up, hopefully very thoroughly indeed. So if I can invite you all, please, to open your scores to the first movement, which is Requiem Aeternam. And this, well, as I said on Monday, the opening of this is very, very intense, very dramatic. Obviously, it's Mozart. He was a genius at setting the scene. And it just, to me, it's hooded figures processing into a darkened room. And so as we sing basses, we have to set the scene. It's the basses that start the movement. And in fact, you'll notice this throughout the Requiem. In many, many instances, it's the basses that set off first. Okay? And so when we come in at letter A, I want you to sing with quite a dark tone. Okay, I don't want Requiem. I don't want that sort of nice, crisp, show your teeth sort of sound. I want a little bit more of, imagine you're singing from underneath a cowl. Requiem. Okay, Okay, so I want that dark tone at the start. Now let's have a look at your first line, please. We come in at letter A, which you'll find on the first page. Okay, and we come in on the second beat. So what I'm going to do, basis, is I'm going to play and sing for you from the first entry in the bar of A to Donna Eis at the bottom of the page. Okay, so nearly 4 bars. So we're in after 1, and it is 1. Requiem Aeternam, Aeternam, Donna Eis. All right, so let me just play that for you. And so I'm not going to sing, I'm just going to play from A, and 1. Thank you very much. All right, so let's sing that together. Before we do, just notice it's forte, okay? It's not a quiet sound, and so what I need is that dark tone and lots of chest voice. Requiem. Okay, so let's sing this together from A. Ready? 3, 4, 1. Requiem Aeternam, Aeternam, Thank you very much indeed, basses. We then rise to the G, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the last 2 notes of the first page to the end of the top line to Domine. So follow it for me, please. After 2, 1, 2. Donna, Donna eis Domine requiem aeternam, Donna eis Domine. Okay, so let's just break that down into chunks. Please do, by the way, keep yourselves hydrated. Have a sip of drink whenever you need it. So let's look at the Donna, Donna eis, the first bit of that. So that's the last 2 notes on page 4 in my score. Those of you following in different scores, this is 4 after A, the last 2 notes. So it's 1, 2, Donna, Donna eis Domine. Okay, let's sing that together. Donna, 1, 2, Donna, Donna eis Domine. Very nice. We then rise to the A. Requiem aeternam. Sing that for me. And Requiem aeternam. Lovely. And then we descend. Donna eis Domine. Sing that for me. And Donna eis Domine. Very, very nice indeed, basses. Thank you. So now, carrying on, letter B, we sing Et Lux Perpetua. Now, if you can roll your R's on these little internal sounds, then that's greatly appreciated. Thank you. If you can't, don't worry about it. That's fine too. Now, look at letter B. We changed the style completely. We've had this, as I say, the dark figures walking into a dark room. And then at B, we sing Et Lux Perpetua, and let perpetual light shine upon them. And so this has to have the feeling, as I've said to everybody else this week, of throwing the curtains wide in a darkened room and letting the sunlight stream in. We've gone from the minor mode to the major mode suddenly at B, and so I need you to put a smile on your face and sing Et Lux Perpetua, Et Lux Perpetua luceat. All right, now before we sing that, just a couple of things to note. This is still forte. Everything in this first couple of pages and until a bar or so in the future is forte. So keep it nice and bright. Smiling with your eyes as well as with your mouth will keep that sound nice and bright. I want perpetua if you can. Don't worry if you can't. And we're joining the second of those phrases straight into luceat. So it's Et lux perpetua luceat. Okay, straight through, and just notice where I'm putting the T. It's on the third beat of the bar. Let's sing that together from B, so that'll make a bit more sense, hopefully. Et lux after 1, and 1. Et lux perpetua, et lux perpetua luceat. Very, very nice. Thank you. And then for the first time in the work, we change the dynamic, almost as if it's a little echo. Suddenly we sing piano and we sing Luceat Eis. Okay, so what you'll have noticed there is it was quiet, and I put the S exactly on the second beat. I don't want Eis and a whole load of S's. I want an Eis and a tiny, tiny amount of S. Sing that for me. Luceat Eis, which is 4 after B, and Luceat Eis. Very, very good. Thank you very much indeed, basses. Okay, so we've arrived at the soprano solo. Have a quick sip of your drink, please, if you haven't already done so. And the sopranos will have a great time with that rather nice solo. Now, we get to Exaudi, which is, hear my prayer, O Lord, and unto you shall all flesh come. And so at this point, it's almost as if the crowd is starting to shout, hear our prayer, hear our prayer. And so let us see, it's a change in style again. We've had the first style, the figures walking in, we've had the light shining upon them, the soprano solo singing is so comforting and so warm, it's like a warm blanket, and now at C we become animated, okay? And so, okay, so at C it's 1, 2, Exaudi, Exaudi. Sing that for me, 1, 2, Exaudi, Exaudi. Very, very good indeed. Just practice that octave. Check you're happy with it. I mean, with basses, we sing octaves all the time, but because it's going just across the break, it can be a bit tricky. Just practice that. Make sure you're happy with it. Now, we're going to move from the B flat to an F sharp. Okay, this is a really, really nice moment. We've been in the major. So, Exaudi. Let me sing Exaudi, Exaudi oratione meam. All right, I'll sing and play that for you again. So this is from the Exaudi, and this is in the bar after C, starting on the B flat. Okay, so 1, 2, Exaudi, Exaudi oratione meam. Great. Let's go from C, please, basses. There's your note. So it is 1, 2, Exaudi, 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 Exaudi oratione meam. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. And for those of you that sang on Handel's Messiah, this should be very, very reminiscent of those very intense movements in the second part where you have da-dum, da-dum, the surely, da-dum, da-dum, the surely. He's obviously quoting Handel here, and why not? So now we've arrived at the bottom of page 6 in my score. Yours may be different, but we're going now from the 5th bar after C. Ad te omnis caro veniet, and unto you shall all flesh come. So ad te. All right, so we're going down a minor third for the first one, and again. So sing for me ad te. 1, 2, ad te. Ad te. Very nice. We then carry on that note and descend chromatically. Ad te omnis caro veniet. Okay, make sure you land on that G very accurately, but in a very dark way. Okay, we're obviously coming back to a very dark place. Okay, so give me lots of tone there. Let's sing that one more time, please. Let's go from your first ad te 4 after C. Thanks, basses. Ready? 1, 2. Ad te, ad te, ad te omnis caro veniet. blank spaces. Well done. Very, very good. Now we arrive at D. People are asking, separate between ardite. Yes, please. Thank you, Stu. Very, very good question. Yes, thank you. So letter D, we're back to Requiem Aeternam. This is entirely to be expected. Mozart is calling back to the opening of the movement, and so we need to get back into that hooded figure mode, please, at D. So it's 1. Requiem Aeternam. So you can hear it starts as we did at the beginning, but then he's developing it a little bit further. So that's the bit that's unexpected. So let's sing that together from D, and 1. Requiem Aeternam. Well done, thank you. Now we then follow on. Now what's about to happen is Mozart's going to introduce a new key. So we get a rather nice little figure there. So this is the 1 to the 4th bar after D, and we come in after the first beat, or bouncing off it if you like. It's 3, 4, 1. Donna, donna, reis. Okay, now I remember singing that as a second bass. That top D, quite tempting to belt it and possibly even to sing it flat. Please don't overdo that D if you can, all right? If it's not comfortable, just sing it in head voice. Donna, donna, reis, reis. All right, it's not quite falsetto. It's at the back of the throat, heading up towards the adenoids. Reis. Give it a try. It's the kind of thing that if you practice, it makes it much easier. Now, if you're a baritone, it should be fine, but just make sure we're not hitting that with too much force, please, basses. Thank you. Let's sing it together. Make sure we're happy with it. Okay, here we go after 1, 3, 4, 1. Donna, donna, reis. Excellent. Now, we come in after the third beat of that bar, and we start to move towards this sort of meandering little figure that the rest of the choir have had. All right, so first of all we sing Eis Domine. Sing that for me. 2, 3. Eis Domine. Lovely, nice rich round sound at the bottom there. And then as you can see now we're on the second bar of page 8 in my score. For those of you following different scores, this is 3 before E, and we start this. Okay, now you might look at that and think, gosh, that's a lot of notes, that's really difficult. But actually, a couple of things, it's not moving too quickly. Okay, it's not for unto us a child is born. And the other thing to say is that it's mostly moving sequentially and quite often by step as well. So once you've learnt a third of this, the rest of it should follow quite naturally, hopefully. So let me just sing this for you. So this is from the Donna, as I say, 3 before E, and it's after 1 and 1. Donna, donna, reis, donna, reis, donna. Okay, now I was pausing in between the phrases to take a breath because I'm demonstrating to you. Obviously, when we're singing this, we won't be doing that. The tempo will continue. Please breathe any way you like in that set of phrases, except after eis. Okay, you can breathe any way you like except at a comma. Okay, and then that will sound nice and clear. We'll mix it all together. I would rather you take out a block of 4 notes and breathe. So you could sing donna, donna, reis, donna, reis, donna. All right, I mean, don't all breathe in that place, otherwise it'll be really obvious. But try not to breathe at the same point as the Fieri singer, and just, as I say, take an entire crotchet beat out, breathe whenever you like, and then our engineers will stitch it together and it will sound amazing. Let's have a go at singing that, please, basses, 3 before E, and keep it nice and smooth. Ready after 1 and 1. Donna, donna. eis dona. Well done. Thank you, basses. Well done indeed. Now we've arrived at E. We have a very, very brief flash of light, but it doesn't last very long. The sopranos sing et lux perpetua, and we answer them. Okay, so it's the octave above from the up from the note we finished on, which is quite handy, and we sing from E to 3. Et lux perpetua, et lux perpetua, luceat eis. All right, it's just 3 pitches in different configurations. So the first one, let's sing that 1, 2, 3. Et lux perpetua, et lux perpetua, luceat eis. Very nice. And make sure that last luceat eis is very clearly articulated. Ceat eis. And then, as a little echo again, right down in dynamic, please. Right down. Et lux perpetua, piano. Et lux perpetua, luceat eis. And be aware, please, basses, that last note, that bottom A, is a long note. I've said to everybody, please, to write count 10, because it's a count of 10 on that last note there before we go into the fugue. Let's just sing that Et lux perpetua luceat eis one more time, and then we'll sing the whole movement. Ready? 1, 2. Et lux perpetua luceat eis. And it will be significantly longer even than that. Well, we'll sing it all the way through now, basses. Please do hydrate yourselves, all right? Do have a drink. Make sure you are keeping yourselves well watered, particularly this week. I always say it, this is the week that people will quite often come back from a Christmas break and wreck their voices by singing far too loudly when they haven't sung for several weeks. So just take it easy. Now we'll sing it all the way through, and then we'll have a look at this fantastic fugue. So back to the beginning of the movement, and we've got obviously Richard Gowers on the organ, does an amazing job every single time. He's also the pianist on our ABBA course. Have I mentioned our ABBA course? I think I have. And of course our wonderful Fieri consort partners. So with Fieri and Richard, let's sing this wonderful movement. Here we go. Two bars to go. One bar to go. Take a deep breath. And Requiem nice and bright. Et lux perpetua, et lux perpetua luceat. And then an echo. Luceat eis. Well done, everyone. So any sopranos out there? I want to hear you singing the solo nice and loudly. Ready? And... coming in 2 bars. That's your note when we come in. And C. And exaudi, 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 exaudi orationem meam. Ad te, ad te, ad te omnis, omnis caro veniet. Lovely. And so Mozart's taking us back to the beginning. Nice deep breath basses. And 1 and well done. 3, 4, 1. And 3. 3, 4, 1. Well done, basses. Great job. Really, really well done. Now, a little thing about that last note, okay? We are all human and we'll all need to breathe on that last note, okay? Apart from the Fieri singers who clearly have iron lungs. Now, if that happens to you, because when we're recording, the last thing I want people to do is to get to that last note, run out of everything, I can't submit it. The trick is, and this works with any choir, online choir or face-to-face choir, when you feel yourself running out of air, it's like the warning light coming on your fuel tank. It's fine. Taking a long note, as long as you fade out in plenty of time, you don't just stop singing. That's the thing. You fade out, you take a deep breath, and you fade your voice back in. Nobody will know. If you suddenly stop, it's noticeable, and you coming back in is noticeable. But if you fade out, fade back in, it'll be absolutely fine, including in our recordings. All right, so don't let that put you off. Well done. Isn't that such splendid music? Stu's asking, where should we breathe before that phrase? Yes. Is the answer to that. You need to take a huge deep breath. I will share one breathing technique with you, basses, which may help, and I'll say this to everybody on Monday. It's the cold breath. All right, it's where you drop your jaw and you breathe silently. That's the trick. If you take a breath and you go yeah, it's you're putting stuff in the way. Yeah, you're creating friction. If you open your throat up as if you're yawning, and just me saying the word yawn is going to make some of you yawn, so I'm sorry about that. But if you open your throat up and you breathe, so it's almost silent like this. Yeah, almost silent rather than. So I'm going to get rid of all my air. I'm going to relax my diaphragm. I'm going to open my mouth. I'm going to breathe silently. And I'm full of air. So try that. It's extremely quick. It takes some practice, but that would be my suggestion on that. It looks. Fill yourself up with air. All right, give it a try. Now then, basses, we've got to crack on because we've got a tough fugue to learn now, and we carry straight on. It's the basses who are leading the charge at the moment. Kyrie eleison. So can we all have a look at that, please? Thank you. Good. So now we get this fantastic fugue subject, and as I said on Monday, if you've sang in Messiah, you remember, and with his stripes we are healed. It's a quote from Messiah, but he's added another fugue part because it's Mozart, and why wouldn't you make it a double fugue if you were Mozart? Now we're going to go through this. Bear in mind, basses, this is hard music. You are going to need to come back to this. This is probably the hardest thing in the Requiem, all right? But the good news is that it comes back at the end, so when you've learned it, well, you've learned 2 movements in the space of 1. So let me introduce you to the first theme, which is Kyrie eleison. Sing that for me. 3, 4. Kyrie eleison. Excellent. Well done. We then sing eleison, eleison. All right. Now, this is something that Mozart does. You'll get used to this when you sing his music. You think you've come to the end, and he gives you an extra little phrase at the end just to make sure that you're awake, and to make sure that you encounter as much difficulty as possible. It's very typical of Mozart. So when you get to this, son, we're not finished. Eleison. Let's just sing that little tail first. Eleison with me, and eleison, and again, and eleison. Very nice. So let's go back to the opening of this. So it's Kyrie eleison, eleison, eleison. All right, one more time for luck. Ready? 3, 4. Kyrie eleison, eleison, eleison. Very, very nice indeed, basses. I will say, once you've learnt this, there's no getting it out of your head. It really is such a great piece to sing. Now, we are at 2 before F now, which is the last bar on page 9 in my score. We come in on the second beat, and then we run down to the D. So I'm going to give you everything from the last bar. So I'm going to give you 2 before F to the bar of F. 3 bars in total. So it's after 1, 3, 4, 1. Kyrie eleison, eleison. All right, now, I appreciate that's a lot to take in at once, so let's break it down. Let's start with the last 4 notes. Eleison with me, and eleison. Fantastic. Okay, nice typical bass line. Let's go back to the beginning of the phrase. So we sing Kyrie. Sing for me, and 1. Kyrie. Sorry, my fault. Again, 1. Kyrie. One more time for luck. And 1. Kyrie. Very nice. And we just have to look at the next bit. Eleison. One more time. Eleison. So let's do the whole thing, please, from the last, from, what is that, 3 before F? 2 before F, I should say. From the Kyrie. And 1. Kyrie eleison, eleison. Well done. Practice that little bit for me, basses. Thank you. We're now at letter F. So going from the bar after F. There we have it again. You think he's coming to an end, and he's adding on extra notes to make your phrase last longer. Now, what we're going to do with this is the first time we're singing what's called the second fugue subject. And so in order to make sure we're happy with this, for those who've never sung it before, I'd always say when you come across semiquavers, that's these fast notes with the thick lines underneath, sing it through to bar before you worry about word placement or syllables or anything like that. So we'll just sing it to bar, and it goes ba 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 ba. All right, let's have a go at that together. To bar after F, and 1 ba 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 ba. Fab. Now let's try it with the words. Okay, Christe alle. Ready? After 1, 4, 1. Christe alle. Very, very good indeed. Thank you so much, bassist. How's everybody doing? Dave is quite rightly looking for the repeating pattern. That is the trick with music like this. Look for what we call the sequence. Okay, sequential writing. There's quite a lot in this where you get a pattern and then it repeats either up or down in pitch, and that just helps you with the recognition of the patterns. Mozart's very good at that. Let's sing that from F one more time, a little bit faster, please, basses. 3, 4, 1. Christe on. Very, very good. Well done. Now we are just before letter G, and so I'll give you the note before G to the bar after. So just about 2 bars. Okay, so we're in after 4, 3, 4. Eleison, eleison. Listen to that just on the piano. 3, 4. Sing that with me. 3, 4. Eleison, eleison. Great. I always keep that little eleison as a little sort of extra. So although you don't have time to breathe, when you land on eleison, eleison, so start the phrase again. Let's go from bar after F, please, basses. Could you stay? How are we doing for time? Oh, very well. Okay, after F, bar after F. 3, 4, 1. Christe eleison, eleison, eleison. Great. I really like that rhythm. There's something really really bouncy about it, so get a bit of bounce in there. Now we're at 3 after G. And we have a little bit of sequential writing here, as I was just saying. We sing. So it's eleison with me, and 1. One more time, and eleison. Make sure you're going nice and flat as we need to on there. One more time, and 1. Eleison. And then we sing eleison with me, and eleison. Great. Now we've just arrived at the major key, and this is a really, really, really nice moment for everybody. It's because we've been singing in the minor quite a lot, as you'd expect in a requiem. So we've arrived at F major, and so we get to sing the second subject now in the major key. So we sing Christe I made a complete hash of everything from H, my apologies. We'll look at that in more detail when we get there. But there is probably the most egregious example of what I was talking about earlier on. You think, oh, it's coming to an end, and he adds another 2 bars onto the end of it. So you need to take a huge breath, and if you need to breathe anywhere in that, then please do, just not at an obvious place. So let's look at that. Let's look at everything from Christe, 2 and a bit bars before H, and we'll stop on the first note of H, and we'll look at that separately. So the Christe, this is another bit of sequential writing. Christe just to there. All right, sing with me. 1. Actually, let's sing it to bar. Let's sing it to bar. Shall we? 1, 2, 3. Ba 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 ba. Very, very good. One more time for lark. 2, 3. Ba 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 ba. Excellent. Now at H, starting on that note, it's ba 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 ba. Just listen to on the piano. Okay. Ba 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 ba. All right. So let's sing that together. Still to bar from H, and then we'll put the 2 halves together. 1, 2. Ba 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 ba. Thank you. Now let's go back. Was it 3 before H? Christe. Sing for me. 1, 2, 3. Christe eleison. Not not easy, but when it's moving a bit faster, actually it does work. If you sing this movement too slowly, it's a bit like F1. You know, if you're not going fast enough, there's no heat in the tyres, there's no grip, and it's all over the place. Actually, a little bit on the far side really helps. Thank you, everyone. Well done. Now, we're at the bottom of page 11 in my score. This is 4 after H. And I see lots and lots of sopranos and altos here. Great to see you. Hope you're having fun. So we come in with our fugue subjects. This should be familiar. Kyrie eleison, eleison, eleison. All right, now you can hear it's not quite the same as we've sung before, but everything in it is recognizable. This is the genius of Mozart. So let's look at the opening statement there, the 2 bars before I, Kyrie, 1, 2. Kyrie eleison. Great, we're now at I, so listen now from I. All right, so we'll just do that a little bit. So from LA, please, at I, 1, 2, LA, and again, LA. Good. Now from the note we just landed on, it's A's on, LA's on. Let's sing that together. Ready? 3, 4. A's on, LA's on, LA's on with me, and LA's on, and again, and LA's on. Thank you, basses. Sorry to make you go over and over again, but I struggled with that when I was learning it all those years ago, so if it helps, that's why we're doing it. So from I, let's go, in fact, let's go from 2 before I. Let's do the whole thing. Kyrie, ready? 1, 2. Kyrie eleison, eleison, eleison. Great. Thanks, basses. Have a quick drink. We're doing very, very nicely. And then we come to my favourite bit for the basses in the entire movement, where we get to sing the fugue subject in the major. Kyrie eleison. Sing that for me. 1, 2. Kyrie eleison. Very good. We're at K now, and we sing eleison. Listen to that just on the piano. Let's sing that together, please, from K. 1, 2. Eleison. One more time. 1, 2. Eleison. Very good, basses. Thank you. Now you need to retain that C, that note we just landed on, because you're coming in on the Christe with that now. Just listen. This is where Mozart starts to develop the second subject even more and adding an element of what we call chromaticism, which is where we'll rise by semitone. It's the first of each group of 4 where we're rising up. And what this is doing is building intensity, and it happens in all the parts as everything's rising and rising and rising and rising. It's like a pressure cooker building up. So your line, listen to this. Even if you've sung it before, do me a favor, just have a listen. All right. And I'm going to just play it and I'll sing it to bar. So it's 2 and a bit before L. Christe. 2, 3. Okay, so Christe eleison, eleison. Sing that for me. 1, 2, 3. Christe eleison, eleison. Let's do that again. 2, 3. Christe eleison, eleison. One more time for lap basses. Same thing. 1, 2, 3. Christe eleison, eleison. Great stuff. Well done. Very, very good. It isn't easy. Bit of practice, bit of slow practice in particular if you've never sung it before, and you'll be absolutely fine. Let's go, please, from 2 before M. And this is based on what we've just sung. So listen to it. It's Christe eleison, Kyrie eleison. And we should be quite familiar with that. The only difference with the Kyrie as it came in there is it comes straight in off the first beat. But we'll look at that in a minute. Let's look at the Christes first. So there's 2.5 before M. Christe eleison. Sing that with me. Christe eleison. Excellent. Now, as soon as we've landed there, there's no time to breathe, because it's Kyrie eleison. All right, let's run it together. 2.5 for M, Christe, leading straight in. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Christe eleison, Kyrie eleison. Excellent. We then sing eleison, eleison. All right, so again, very familiar. Just let's have a look at how he's laid it out. So this is from the LA in bar M. Sorry, in the bar of M3. 4. LA. All right, let's sing that together, please. From LA. 3, 4. Eleison, eleison. Great, and we're on to the last page. Basses doing so well, everybody. Brilliant. Now at N, we have this Christe theme. We've just learned how it works. It's the chromatic version, so we sing 2, 3. Christe eleison, eleison, eleison. Let's have a go at that. 1, 2, 3. Christe eleison, eleison, eleison. Great stuff. One more time for luck. 2, 3. Christe eleison, eleison, eleison. Excellent. Then we sing eleison, eleison, eleison. Okay, so let's break that down into manageable chunks. Let's look at the first eleison, which is eleison. Sing with me. Eleison. Again. Eleison. And then eleison. Eleison. And then we sing eleison. Now that big note there, that's that diminished 7th chord I was talking about. Make sure you give me lots of G sharp. And then to finish it's Kyrie eleison. Sing that with me, basses. And Kyrie eleison. Thanks, basses. Very, very well done. Great stuff. Now then, let's take it all the way through from the start of the fugue. Remember, you've now learnt not just the first 2 movements, but the last 2 movements of this Requiem as well. So 4 movements under our belts. Well done, basses. So here's your A. Let's sing it all the way through. Do please have a quick sip of drink if you haven't done so recently. My splendid self-isolation choir mug. Everything tastes better out of a self-isolation choir mug. Okay, so from the start of the Kyrie. Have fun. Here we go, basses. And Kyrie eleison, 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 and 1. Kyrie eleison, eleison, and eleison, 2. Letter I. Now in the major, and Kyrie eleison, eleison, Christe eleison, eleison. 1, 2, 3. Christe eleison. One, two, three. Christe eleison, eleison, eleison. 2, 3, 4. Eleison, eleison, eleison. Thank you so much, Basses. Well done and congratulations. A very, very demanding piece of music. And if it's new to you, please don't worry if it's difficult, because everyone who comes to this piece for the first time goes, wow, that's demanding. It is the hardest music in the piece, though. What follows is substantially easier from a technical point of view, or at least in terms of the pitches. So well done, Basses. Thank you. Now, if you don't mind, we're going to press on and just quickly blast through the Dies Irae. We will overrun by about 5 minutes. If you have to go at 6 o'clock, we of course completely understand. And do remember, this is all recorded for you, and come back and have a look at it when you can. But we are going to press straight on, Basses, because pitch-wise, and in fact in terms of the notes, what follows is just a whole lot of lovely loud singing, very dramatic, but nowhere near as demanding as what we've just done. So we go up the octave to start Dies Irae, and let me introduce this to you, because we sing Dies Irae, Dies Illa, solvet seclum in favela, teste David cum Sibylla. Okay, really, really dramatic. Now, D's, as I said, don't over sing this, Basses, please. You've already done quite a lot of singing for me. Keep yourself hydrated, but let's sing this together. Ready? 1, 2, Dies Irae. Then, Dies Illa. Fantastic. And then we drop down the octave and we climb. Solvet seclum in favela. Sing that for me. Solvet seclum in favela. Lovely. Make sure you're leaving the breaks in between as marked. We then go up the octave. Teste David cum Sibylla. With me. Teste David cum Sibylla. And again. Teste David cum Sibylla. Just make sure you're singing that G nice and cleanly. Okay, let's sing from the top of the page, please, Basses. Dies Irae. 1, 2. Dies Irae. Dies Illa. Solvet seclum in favela. Teste David cum Sibylla. Well done. Excellent stuff. So we're off to the races, and Mozart takes us briefly into F major. Nice of him to drop some major chords into such bright hellfire. And O rather, we sing Quantus tremores futurus, quando iudex est venturus. And there's that trick again, ramping up the intensity by playing with chromaticism. All right, so we're leading that charge. We're pushing everything along. I've just noticed it's all gone a bit fuzzy. Sorry, folks, that's a lighting issue. Let me just see if I can get it to come back. Oh, dear. This is Vaseline mode. Focus, says Stu. Focus, as they say, like a tenor. Let's see if that works. It'll normally click back in. This is all right. I can just enjoy looking young for a few moments. Anyway, don't let it bother you, folks. Let's just carry on from Quantus Tremor, and I'm sure the computer will do its thing in a minute. So, ready? After 2, it's 1, 2. Quantus tremores futurus, quando iudex es venturus. All right, once more with me, fuzzy or not, sing along. 1, 2. Quantus tremores futurus, quando iudex es venturus. Great, and then we sing Cuncta stricte discussorus. And it's I think that's the highest note in the entire Requiem, which you'd expect with something quite so fiery and so furious. Still seems to be able to focus, but, hopefully at some point my computer will deign. Do you know what, folks? I'm sorry about this. Extreme close-up mode. Let's see if the camera will focus. There we go. You see all the wrinkles as I move back. There we go. Extreme close-up. Wayne's World mode. Okay, so let's sing that all together. Now I'm back in focus. Quantus. 1, 2. Quantus tremores futurus, quando iudex es venturus, cuncta stricte discussorus. Okay, fantastic. Discussorus, I always just think that was a dinosaur that played athletics. Anyway, so from letter P, Mozart has a little bit of fun with a bit of fire and brimstone, and then we sing from P. It's Dies Irae, Dies Illa. Sing with me. 1, 2. Dies Irae, Dies Illa. Great. We then sing Solvet Seclum in favilla. Sing for me. 1, 2. Solvet Seclum in favilla. And then Teste David cum Sibilla. With me. Teste David cum Sibilla. Lovely. Let's go from P, please. Top of 17. Ready? Oh, it's Iudex, please. Iudex. That's a good question, Andy. Iudex. All right. After 2. 1, 2. Dies Irae, Dies Illa. Solvet Seclum in favilla, Teste David cum Sibilla. Very, very good indeed. We're doing very, very well. We're at letter Q now, and we now basses we descend. What are the 2 jobs of basses? It's singing pedal notes and descending bass lines. Well, this is the second. This is the latter of the 2. We start on C at Q and we sing Quantus tremores futurus, quando iudex es venturus. Okay, I think the hardest part for this is just to note where the pitches change. Quantus tremores futurus. So we're going down a tone there. Quando iudex, it goes down a semitone. Est ven, down a tone. Turus. Okay, moves down a tone there. So let's sing that together. Quantus tremor from Q. 1, 2. Quantus tremores futurus, quando iudex es venturus. Good. Now we rise again. Cuncta stricte discussorus. With me. 1, 2. Cuncta stricte discussorus. Now, a bit of fire from the basses. We sing Quantus tremores futurus. Yeah, trembling with fear. You can feel it, can't you? Quantus tremores futurus. We're aiming for the B flat there. Sing that with me, basses. And 1. Quantus tremores futurus. Excellent. Well done. We then sing it again on the octave. Be careful with that. Sing that for me just for S. And 1. Quantus tremores futurus. Then straight back up. Quantus tremores futurus. Sing for me. 1. And Quantus tremores futurus. Excellent. Now we start a whole load of what's called tonica dominant. Quando iudex es venturus, cuncta stricte discussorus. Sing that with me, please, basses. Top of 20. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so before T. Quando iudex. 1, 2. Quando iudex es venturus, cuncta stricte discussorus. Thank you, basses. We are very nearly there. 2 phrases to learn, and then we've got the whole thing in the bag. So from T, the ladies sing con ta stricte. And I'm asking everybody to really go for the strict. That's the con ta stricte. And we answer them, basses. We sing one con ta stricte, stricte, disco solos. Just listen to on the piano, so it's... Okay, so let's sing that together. Cuncta from the bar after T, and 1. Cuncta stricte, stricte, disco solos. Once again, and Cuncta stricte, stricte, disco solos. Very good, very good. And the last phrase starts here, and it's Cuncta stricte, stricte, disco solos. Listen again. Let's sing that together. After 1, 2, 1. Cuncta stricte, stricte, disco solos. And you can tell by the fact I'm frowning and putting lots and lots of vibrato in and so on. This is all really, really powerful, really, really strong, and lots of fire. Now, we're going to sing through the whole movement. And please remember, all of this is saved for you. We will be singing it all again on Monday with everybody, and so please do come back whenever you need to, just for a little refresher. I've been saying to everybody, make sure you've got a few recordings of this on the go, listen to it by all sorts of different wonderful musicians, and it will go in much faster. And of course, next week, basses, we're going to be learning the tuba mirum, which is the solo, which has that fantastic long bass note, one of the best bass solos ever, so that's next week. But for now, dies irae, ladies and gentlemen. There's your note, basses. Tenors. Any tenors out there? I know Rob's here. Anyone else? There's your note. Altos, just for you. And for all my sopranos as well, there's your note. Dies irae, everybody, with a big smile. Let's have some fun. Here we go. Nice deep breath. Here we go. And... Dies irae, dies irae, solvet seclum in favilla, teste David cum Sibylla. Quantus tremores futuros, quando iudex est venturus, cuncta stricte discussurus. Deep breath, and dies irae, dies illa, solvet seclum in favilla, teste David cum Sibylla. Quantus tremores futurus, quando iudex est venturus, cuncta stricte discussurus, quantus tremores futurus. Lots of attack on this quantus. And quantus tremores futurus. And quantus tremores futurus, quantus tremores futurus, quando iudex est venturus, cuncta stricte discussurus, cuncta stricte, stricte discussurus, and cuncta stricte, stricte discussurus. Well done. There we go. Wonderful stuff. And as I say, if you've never sung the Requiem before, have another sing along with this rehearsal, and then do yourself a favour, sing along with a full orchestra playing it with a big choir. It is so powerful, so exciting, a magical piece. So I hope you've enjoyed it, basses. Apologies that we've gone 5 minutes over, but it's Mozart's Requiem, isn't it? It's almost rude to finish on time. So thank you very much indeed for your patience tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's always a pleasure to see the basses and work with you. And I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Of course, Monday's the full sing through with everybody. Next week, we'll be looking at the Tuba Mirum, Rex Tremende, and the Recordare. So 2 lovely solo movements and that incredible Rex Tremende in the middle. So lots to look forward to. I hope you have a great weekend. Do please tell everyone you know about the Young Self-Isolation Choir. It's a free opportunity for young people to sing, and they can be from anywhere in the world. It's not a British only event. It is a worldwide opportunity to come together and sing nice songs for children, starting on Tuesday at 10 a.m. UK time. Look out for the email from Mark, and please encourage everyone to come along, and don't forget ABBA on Monday as well. See you soon, everyone. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.